The lesson to learn here is to read the terms of your contracts and always seek legal advice, always. And if the record label is offering you lawyers, don't use their lawyers, get your own. Seek legal advice. Yes, Google is free, but law school isn't, and there's a reason for that. Even if you don't feel like you've got a lot of leveraging power, don't take the first deal that comes across, and be ready to say no if the terms don't fit with what you want. Hi everyone, it is your favorite lawyer and hip-hop head, Blessing Makosha, back with another video on law and hip-hop and the intersectionalities between them. Make sure that you follow me on all of my socials, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment if you like this video. Oh, leave a like as well. It helps me with the algorithm. And I just want to give a quick shout out to my TikTok family. I finally reached 1,000 followers on TikTok. Thank you guys. It's all thanks to my video I did on female rappers using ghostwriters and why I don't like rappers who use ghostwriters. So check out that video and check me out on TikTok. I'll be going live on TikTok more often and sharing some other shorter content on there as well. So make sure that you join and follow me on there. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why rappers sign bad contracts, just generally talk about bad contracts in the hip-hop industry and why this is so commonplace. Because as hip-hop fans, we often hear about rappers getting into legal battles with their record labels. You know, you've got examples from Chuck D, who sued Universal Records for $100 million in unpaid royalties. The GOAT Lil Wayne, who had a $51 million lawsuit against Birdman and Cash Money. It's another reason why you didn't get a lot of music from Lil Wayne for a long time. These examples are just some of many, and it's clear then that there are often issues between artists and their labels in hip-hop. But why is this the case? In this video, we're going to explore some of the reasons why rappers end up signing bad contracts and how these contracts can end up being damaging for the artist. I'll preface that you guys can probably guess from my accent. I'm an English lawyer, so my understanding of contract law is based in English law, but the same principles do apply around the world. But just to give you that and to also clarify that this is not legal advice and nothing I say should be taken as legal advice. But hopefully this can give you some guidelines and some things to think about if you are an artist and you will be signing any type of contract with a record label, distributor, publisher, management, and so on. So if you're interested in that topic, stick around and keep watching this video, and make sure that you like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you like what I'm talking about today. Now let's take a quick break to thank our sponsor for this video, Notion. As a lawyer and a hip-hop head, I know firsthand how important it is to stay organized and on top of your projects and work. That's where Notion comes in. Notion is an all-in-one productivity platform that helps you manage your projects, your tasks, and your notes all in one place. It's perfect for creatives, it's perfect for professionals like myself, and anyone else who has a lot of information they need to sort. For example, if you're studying at university. If you're an artist and you're trying to keep your career on track and manage a contact database, you want to manage all of your different tracks, your references, your artwork, and the different status of your projects and your goals, then you've got to get yourself on Notion. So if you're looking to up your productivity game, check out Notion below. I put all the information in my description, and I use Notion every single day. Every single day. I don't start a single piece of work, whether it's planning out these videos or doing my legal work, without consulting Notion. I'm definitely going to talk about Notion more in videos upcoming, but check out Notion using the link below and get your productivity game on 110. Okay, so topic number one, let's talk about 360 deals, what they are and how they give record labels so much control. So a concept that's caused a lot of controversy in hip hop is the 360 deal. So a 360, it's a circle, and in that kind of deal, the record label takes a percentage of the artist's income from all areas of their career. That's why it's a 360, because it's a full circle, everything. And it's not just record sales. So that can include touring, merchandise, endorsements, and more. Essentially, if your artist's name is on it, your face is on it, the label's going to recoup some of that money. On the surface, a 360 deal may seem like a good idea for the artist. I've done different videos that you can check out on my channel discussing the different reasons why an artist might sign a deal like this. Because at the end of the day, the label is the one taking on a lot of risk, right? They are the one investing in the artist's career. They are the one who are giving the artists a lot under this kind of 360 deal. So it works for the artist. But the reason it works for the label is because by making this massive investment, they want a cut of all of the profits that come out of making you a hot artist. But actually, whilst on the surface this can look like a really good deal, pretty good quid pro quo, the label gives you a big advance and then they recoup off the back of what you make, it can actually end up being extremely damaging for the artist, especially if they're not careful with how their affairs are handled. One of the biggest problems with 360 deals is that it gives the label too much control over the artist's career. The label can dictate what type of endorsement deals the artist can take, what kind of tours and how often that they tour, and anything else that they want from them in order to make the money back from other areas of the artist's career. A really great example of this is Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion has been in litigation with her label 1501 Entertainment since around 2018 because she argued that the terms of her contract were onerous, meaning that they were too extreme. She had mandatory studio sessions. She had mandatory requirements around touring, and 1501 to this day still has the final say about whether or not a project Megan has put out counts as an album towards her contract. So what can end up happening, as happened to Megan, is that the artist can feel burnt out and resentful and lead to an overall decline in the quality of the work. In my opinion, and I'm very happy for other people to have a different opinion, leave it in the comments. I feel like with the knowledge that she's making money for a label she doesn't want to work with anymore, Megan isn't bringing her best material because she's not recouping the full amounts from that because she's still under this deal. When rappers sign deals like this and later challenge them, it's because they want to control their own career and they want to release music on their own terms. That's something that Megan Thee Stallion currently can't do, which is crazy if you think about how much impact and influence and how popular she's become since her debut in around 2017. Now let's get into the next topic, which is 360 deals come with onerous terms. So onerous means harsh or aggressive. And one of the biggest issues with 360s, as you've probably guessed, is that they're heavily skewed in favor of the record label. They tend to be the one with the good lawyers. They tend to be the ones who know what they're doing. And they're the ones with the money after all. It's very common that the label takes a really large percentage of any artist's income, but on the downside, they may not provide a lot in terms of resources or support. And this can leave the artist struggling to make ends meet, even if they're highly successful. For example, in the 90s, Dr. Dre fought to cut his ties with his label, Ruthless Records, and the former members of NWA. These issues, and after making his inquiries, eventually led him to ultimately demand that he is released from the label. The rapper claimed that the label wasn't providing adequate resources to him or support or compensation, and that the terms of the contract, in comparison to what he was putting into the group, was completely onerous and unfair. I'm going to give you a quick legal nerdy moment here and talk to you about the concept in English law of bad bargain. In a simple nutshell, in English law, if you sign a bad deal, then that's on you. You need to have proper legal advice and you need to look at the terms of what you're signing. There's no court that's going to help you if you say, well, I ended up getting a pretty rubbish deal in this contract. Can you undo it? The court's going to say, look, unless there is breach or an unlawful term in the contract, for example, there are certain terms that you can't put in a contract because it's not legal to exclude yourself from that kind of liability or responsibility. Those are governed by statute like the Unfair Contractual Terms Act, and they're limited, but it is possible. But in general, bad bargain means if you sign a bad deal, you signed a bad deal. Unless the other side breaches the contract and the court considers that breach enough for you to completely set aside the entire contract, then you're going to be stuck with those terms for as long as you've agreed them. And that can be a really, really long time. The lesson to learn here is to read the terms of your contracts and always seek legal advice, always. And if the record label is offering you lawyers, don't use their lawyers. Get your own. Seek legal advice. Yes, Google is free, but law school isn't, and there's a reason for that. So let's talk about why artists sign these kinds of deals. I mean, a very recent example is Glorilla. When she tried to sign and go major, she realized that her song that had blown her up, FNF, wasn't really hers to sell to a major. She didn't really have the right to do that. So why did she even sign that deal in the first place? Well, it's often because artists lack bargaining power. The reason why they end up signing these kinds of deals is because, especially when they're just starting out, they may not feel like they have any other options and are willing to accept whatever terms are offered to them. It comes with a sort of short-sighted vision. Not every artist is like Nicki Minaj, who was imagining herself in 10 years when she was negotiating her first contracts. Check out my video I did on why Nicki Minaj didn't sign the Female Rapper 360 deal to get an understanding of how her thinking was different to a lot of artists when they first start out. The thing that always happens, like with the examples I discussed earlier, is that an artist builds more success, more notoriety, and they feel like they're in a position to renegotiate better terms. So the lesson to take from that is, even if you don't feel like you've got a lot of leveraging power, don't take the first deal that comes across and be ready to say no if the terms don't fit with what you want. Now let's get into my last topic, and that's that not all contracts are bad, especially when you have a good lawyer. It's important to note that not all record deals are going to be bad for artists. Whilst yes, some rappers like Russ would say never sign to a label, just get a loan from the bank and leverage against yourself. That's one strategy, but some artists are able to negotiate unique deals that give them more control over their careers and allow them to retain more of their income from their music and their brand. I've mentioned a lot of times in this video Nicki Minaj, her unique deal where she retains her publishing, merchandise, and endorsement revenue. This gives her more control over her career and allows her to keep a larger percentage of her income. Similarly, Adele, another massive superstar, has a very well negotiated deal that pays her very well for her work. Before streaming became a massive thing, Adele negotiated to keep, I believe, around half of her streaming revenue, which you can imagine now. Labels aren't really trying to let artists keep all their streaming revenue because that's the only source of revenue they get. Check out my video before this one where I talked about rappers' sales and the math ain't mathin'. Artists aren't selling as much in pure sales anymore. So a deal where an artist is getting money from their sales and money from their streaming ends up being very lucrative indeed. Getting high quality legal advice when you sign is essential. And it's not gonna mean that the label's gonna take nothing. This is a deal after all. You do need to be ready to give up some percentages. But when you sign a deal, getting quality advice is crucial to make sure that you not only understand the terms and conditions of the contract, but that you're negotiating the best possible deal for yourself in the long run. Don't be afraid to seek out a lawyer who is qualified to do this to help you navigate the legal aspects of your career. It's better to spend a little extra money up front to protect your interests than to regret not doing so later down the line. And like the rappers I've mentioned in this video, bring hefty multi-million-dollar suits for money that you could have kept if you'd have just been a bit smarter about your deal making. Thank you for watching. I want to know your thoughts about 360 deals. Why do you think they're so prevalent in the music industry and hip hop especially? And why do you think so many rappers sign deals like this? Make sure you leave a comment, like this video, and subscribe. Check me out on all platforms, especially TikTok, under Blessing Makosha. And make sure that you check the link in my description to look out. And make sure that you click the link in my description to check out our sponsor Notion for all your productivity needs and to level up your organization game. See you in the next video. Peace out.